because this is my show, anytime anything Silent Hill related comes up, I of course need to talk about it. It's the number one thing that I'm known for on YouTube, on my main channel. So, Syb, the Tokyo Game Show is coming up next week. That alongside like the Game Awards, E3, Summer Games Fest, those are the things that a lot of gamers tend to keep their eye on when it comes to new announcements. Well, it looks like Konami's going to be there, and they're going to be doing a lot of the usual stuff. You know, they're going to be promoting Yu-Gi-Oh! They're going to be doing the pachinko stuff, probably. God damn it. But something interesting. In a sort of a press release for what to expect from them at the... it's going to be, I think, a 3-day event with them that's going to be starting on this coming Friday, or Thursday, and then going to Saturday. This coming Friday, September the 16th, it's going to be happening 2:30 in the morning here on the East Coast, North America, but it'll be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday there. They're going to be doing a 45-minute panel on a game, on a new game from a pre-existing Konami franchise that is, quote, beloved by fans all over the world. Now, what could that possibly be? Now, obviously, the first thing that a lot of our minds go to, you know, I just mentioned it, is Silent Hill. There's been a lot of rumors going on about games, not just one game, but 3 and games possibly.
By Silent Hill, do you mean that's that video game based on that movie that Sean Bean was in where he didn't die? It's like the only movie in which Sean Bean is in which he doesn't die.
Right. Yeah. Yes, that is the movie based off of the games. Yes. God, that movie. But yeah, there have been rumors going around that not just 1, but 3 different games, one being a Silent Hill 2 remake. And plus, you know, with this news coming out, there was, some leaks that were happening on Twitter of what appeared to be images from a Silent Hill 2 remake demo, and it like the way that it looked, it sort of looked like a behind, like over the shoulder camera view, sort of like what we got with Resident Evil 2 remake and RE4 and The Evil Within, but it was with Silent Hill, and it was with James Sunderland, and he was like, it looked like he was going through his school, and then when he's in the darkness of the hospital, you see like one of the creepy nurses coming out from the side, and we know that these images were, like, we have reason to believe that they are legit, because the guy, you remember when we did a show a couple of months ago, Syb, where we talked about the leaked photos for the Silent Hill game that was coming out. The guy who leaked them, he was a guy named Dusk Golem, and we know that they were legit because they were taken down. Well, the guy, the Dusk Golem, commented on these photos, and he said, yes, they are real, but they are test images from an internal demo that was done at Bloober. And Bloober are the guys that did the Layers of Fear games, Blair Witch, and most recently The Medium. So all this stuff is leading us to believe that, sorry for the noise in the background, that this coming Friday, we're finally going to get our first look at something in regards to Silent Hill. But there is reason to believe it might not be Silent Hill. It looks like recently Konami renewed their license for Suikoden. And Suikoden, most famous for their titles, I think, on the original PlayStation and the PlayStation 2. I think it's like a JRPG. I never played it. I think the last mainline entry was in 2006. Plus, the guy who is heading this 45-minute event is Yuki Kaji, who is apparently one of the lead voice actors in the original Suikoden. Syb, if Friday comes and they say that the beloved franchise that they're renewing is Suikoden, I'm going to slash somebody's tires. Mark my words, because I can't take this anymore. Like, seriously, this is like my tiny little baby heart is going to burst. Like, I had enough cholesterol buildup when I was on vacation. Syb, I got to ask, what do you think the likelihood is that it's going to be Suikoden? Can you, like... or Silent Hill? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
I regret to inform you that I cut off nearly all communication with Konami after the whole Kojima debacle. thing. I did have several contacts there. I've mentioned before, I'm fairly well like connected in the video game development world, but most of those developments are actually Japanese.
Yeah.
I have a huge amount of people that I've helped and have given assistance to in Japan as far as like games and development stuff, and I do a little bit of writing and some game world like planning stuff like that. And it's where I meet most of my contacts, and they're very friendly. We have there's a lot of times where there's lots of communication, and a lot of them really like testing their English skills. And I'm not terrible at Japanese when it comes to utilizing it in a chat platform. So yeah, I can tell you that the majority of current devs look at Konami and they scowl, and so I have no info on this. They have universally kind of like turned their back on the studio, and so if there's any game that's coming out, if they're working on anything, I believe we've mentioned this a few times, and it's been talked about in the press here and there. They don't have anybody that is like a good programmer anymore. That's like an active programmer that could take on the reins of some kind of project like that. Yeah. They have a few programmers that specialize in their pachinko machines, but they were forced to basically try and like outsource a bunch of stuff, and they couldn't find a place to really outsource it to in Japan as far as what, a lot of the rumors were saying for quite a while. I don't know how much of that has changed. I hope that somebody that they go back to their games, because what
their
they're doing
are legendary.
They're holding these properties essentially for ransom, and it would have been one thing to sell them off. If they sold them off like right around the whole like Kojima thing, if they had sold them off, there's a good chance that they would have probably gotten peak dollar for them then. Now, if they were to try and sell them off now, or if they're trying to like, split a thing and do another thing and do another thing, I really don't know how successful they're going to be without the game being, absolutely like gameplay being absolutely on point perfect, story being on point perfect, technology being on point perfect, the general like the systems of the game running and all that kind of stuff. Without all that stuff being perfect, I can't see them doing well. And I can't see the game doing well. I fear that what we're going to get the next time we do get any one of these games is we're going to get a very cheap, not really well made, knockoff version that reminds you of Metal Gear Survive in all of the worst ways you could possibly remember that game.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to admit it, like. Especially
and I hate that, because it's like I've had to watch multiple studios that I love just trashing themselves because they're incapable of thinking through a logical response to a problem. It's like they're like, oh no, we're not, our fans aren't happy with us right now. Oh, what should we do? Let's pour gasoline on a fire in the office and see how that helps. And that's their legitimate, like, that is their legitimate, honest to God response. And I've seen and I've talked with these devs that have made some of these decisions at some of these companies that I love before, which I won't mention now. It's like, what were you thinking when you alienated? What's a good example? WildStar. WildStar is the best example because the studio is dead and gone. The game is dead and gone. There's some private servers running it now, but they alienated 1/3 of portion of the community that was a pillar support to their community. As in, like, if you remove those players and if you alienate those players and all those players quit, you have a domino effect of losing at least like half of your player base. Because that affects so many other parts of the game. What were you thinking when you did this? It's like, oh well, we realized that people were having too much fun. The content was being like gone through too fast. So we had to stem the bleeding of the content drought. So you removed half your player base. Yeah, it's kind of a bad way of thinking about it now, but I guess that's effectively what we did. It's like, right. My God, you're an idiot. like that's the problem that we run into so often with these studios. And I don't know I don't know the solution to that. And it's really disturbing.
Well, the solution is just, I'll give Konami credit if the rumors are true and that they sold, they didn't sell it, but they allowed other companies to work on their IP and that they're probably going to get residual benefits from it. With Silent Hill, the rumor is that they got Bloober, Annapurna Interactive, they're the ones that did Stray, and then some other company at Sony to be working on 3 Silent Hill games. If that's what they're doing, that's what they should have been doing. And I'll give them credit. But until that's official, and you better goddamn well make it official on Friday, like I said, otherwise tires are being slashed, then I'll give them credit. But until then, my opinion remains about Konami the same as Sybs.